Today we're looking at rare and new lithops, in particular those from the collection of the late Mr. Yasuhiko Shimada. Lithops are a variable group of succulents with over 40 species and many subspecies. Desmond Cole was the main original collector along with Lerich and others. However, it is Cole that collected over 460 variations. The so-called Cole number refers to specific location, and in each of these locations the plant differs in form, shape and colour, and the window or head of the plant will have different markings and colours. Mr. Shimada not only grew Cole's plants, he also grew plants collected by De Boer and many others. Mr. Shimada did not sell seed, only selected plants derived from his version of line breeding, which makes the quality of his plants almost unsurpassed. Mr. Shimada's son, Yasuhiko Shimada, is following in his father's footsteps. And today we're with James Lucas from Succulents Australia, and he's going to tell us all about the lithops from Mr. Shimada's breeding program that he's been lucky enough to obtain himself.
G'day. Look, there are lithops and there are lithops. This is a very special collection from a gentleman called Shimada in Japan, and he's actually spent his lifetime breeding them. And these are some of his better selections where the colours are really superb, and I'll tell you a little bit in soon about how they're bred and they've been selected, and the two different types of breeding that are involved in lithops. So first thing is lithops. And this is the stage there. You can see on the side here the leaves are dried off and they're shrinking up. It's nearly time to start watering this one a little bit now. You don't water them very much when they're looking like this. See the two side shrinking leaves? They haven't shriveled up yet. So the center two leaves are absorbing all the juice from the older leaves and ultimately will grow bigger as a result of those leaves. This one's already done its growing because it's absorbed most of the leaves on the side. So what I can do is talk about breeding. Now there's two things, there's line breeding or there's like hybrids. Now what happens is this one here, this is jullii, Lithops jullii, but look at the beautiful display of fine, clear, fine lines. Now this does not occur in nature, but this has been done by selecting every year the very best seedlings which display that line, then doing it over multiple generations to perfect it. Then you get seed quality which is relatively consistent and shows those traits. So this would not occur in nature. So this is what you call line breeding, and you can see there's many examples of this. One of them is otzeniana. Now this comes in several colors. You can get a brown one, you can get a green one, you can get one called aquamarine, which is a bluey green, and there's also a red one. Now the red one did occur in nature very rarely, but it has been line bred now and is available. I'll show you that one now. That's right here behind you. That's the red one, or otzeniana. This one is aquamarine. It's a bluey green, a really clear bluey green, and there is a brown one here somewhere, but I can't find that right now. And that's some examples of it. But if you look at the colours, now this is a hybrid, this one here. Right. Now, murasaki, yeah, I'm not going to say that, okay. Purple. That'll be a breeding between two different ones. There's some here, and what he's really worked on, Shimada, he's possibly considered one of the great breeders. Cole knew him well, and they often traded notes. This is Substance Espresso, green line. There's one here I wanted to show you. But some of them are absolutely magnificent, really beautiful clear colours. This one here, just pure green on top. Some of them are speckled, but it's all to do with line breeding.
So with the green colours that we're getting, I mean, some of these are fairly amazing. Is that a common thing with lithops, the greens?
Look, there are a few green species, but not many of them. But what's happened in nature, there's sometimes occurred a bit of a freak where one has turned out green, and what they've found them, they grow them, and they produce seed off them, and then they produce a green line coming through them.
Here's really interesting.
Yeah, that's actually a plant by Stephen Hammer. I'm not sure whether he's actually bred it or he actually found it and then has grown it and distributed it. But that one's called hammeruby.
Fascinating.
That's myeride. That's a very small growing one, but really wild colour. But what they're trying to do now is they're trying to get in and doing red ones. Now, this is Caris montana, but this is a form from Lateritia, and this is called top red, and it's supposed to have really dark red lines on it. Beautiful colours. Right. Yeah, this is a new one here called Purpa. That'll be a hybrid. Caris montana, yes. Ebelanzi Purpa. A special purple selection of that one. Actually, this one's exceptional. This one here, look at this one. Look at the lines on that, the markings on that. It's so fine. Now, some of these are known in the West, but a lot are not. And a few people have them. I think this is, Lithops purpa again. And that's from C369, Cole 369. Actually, that's a lovely colour. Look at that one there. Rhubarb, that's another new hybrid. Yeah, there's a red selection of bromfeildii. Look at this. That'll be a hybrid. Murasaki Kikishuku. Lovely colour, isn't it? There's a selection of cafe latte, they call that one. It looks like a cafe latte top on it. Look at the spotting in here. This is Balaketti. I've got two of those. Now the whole idea is you do need two lithops to do the breeding. You need to cross-pollinate these two, and then they can produce reliable seed. So you've really got to not mix your brush up with other plants. You've really got to keep things separate. But this is, I don't know, just a hobby of mine that I'd like to actually get on and produce seed. Actually, this is a really nice one here, Hot Lips. That's a really good one. There's another one. See, this isn't really ready to be watered yet. The leaves are too big and fat. These leaves will end up 2 or 3 times this size once these have shrunken down. And you can see how this one here has grown. As the leaves are shrunken up, they're disappearing down the side. And this one is now ready to be watered. Here's another really clean green one. Yeah, this one's called malachite. So we have about 40 superb selections here. Now next door, I got from a friend in China, these are breedings again that he has done from Shimada's original selections, and these are really quite consistent. This was a really interesting lot of seed that I got, and you can already see the really good colours coming out. These plants are around about 18 to 20 months old, and they are ready to pot up. And you can see there's a few fails in them, but on the whole, you can see they're consistent and extremely good colours for such young plants. And look at the colours on that one. That's Lerich green. Really beautiful. So these have been really done for really distinctive marks and lines. Another Caris montana, but this has got deep pockets and deep grooves in it. Look at the spotting on this one, John. This is Bella. So I can't wait to start breeding these. A lot of these will actually have flowers next year. This one's from a collection by De Boer. This is venteri. So a lot of these are cold collected or often other private collectors and are selected. Shimada was friendly with a lot of the really top Lithop people years ago. Shimada is actually since dead. His son has now taken over his business, but he's very hard to contact, so I'm actually hoping his plants will now come to the West. This was a really hard collection to get. It took me nearly 4 or 5 years to get this collection out of Japan to Australia. This one is Satos Violet. Really lovely purple colour, but it often has variation of marks in the window in the top. Now this is actually a hybrid of Optica rubra. Now there are several forms of Optica rubra. There's sort of a more round leaf version, a slightly redder version, a more purple version. This has been used for hybridising quite a few, with jullii, montana, stuff like that. And that is a result of breeding this one and one of the other species. This is one I find quite amazing. One just really beautiful fine lines in the window. But look at the change of colour and the new leaves, how rich the colour is, and the old leaves are faded. So it's nice when they renew and you can see this sort of change.
We'd like to thank James Lucas from Succulents Australia for sharing his knowledge with us yet once again. And we've got more coming up on succulents, including aeoniums, the crested forms of succulents which are becoming really popular, new Echeveria releases, how to water succulents, potting mixes, fertiliser, and a whole range of other topics, as well as information on lots of other garden plants. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, ring the bell so that you get notified. And as always, good luck with your gardening.